Pure chaos, utter, unfiltered chaos. The final day of the Champions League phase was a roller coaster, with standings flipping in the final seconds. It was a night of absolute drama, with jaw-dropping comebacks, fairy tale moments, and stumbling giants. Last-minute goals didn't just win matches, they completely reshaped the road to the final. Today, we are breaking down the five most shocking moments that decided who flies directly into the round of 16, who has to scrap their way through the playoffs, and who's going home empty handed. This was a match day for the history books, with 98-minute goal scoring, goalkeeping heroics, and last cap winners that you just have to see to believe. Welcome back to the channel. Forget everything you thought you knew, because match day 8 changed it all. Let's get straight into it. Kicking things off at number 5, we've got a tale of two very different English victories, both with massive consequences. On one side, the cool, calm dominance of Liverpool. On the other, the gritty, nail-biting survival of Chelsea. Let's start at Anfield, which was less of a football match and more of a demolition. Liverpool hosted Karabakh, needing a result to lock up a top 8 finish, and they didn't just get a result, they delivered a 6-0 beatdown. This was Liverpool at their terrifying best, a storm of relentless passing and deadly finishing, goals from Mo Salah, a brace from Alexis Mac Allister, and strikes for Hugo Ekitike and Federico Chiesa showcased their power. This dominance sent a clear message to the rest of Europe. The Reds are here and they are not messing around. The win secures their spot in the top 8, giving them a direct pass to the round of 16 and a chance to avoid the treacherous playoff round. It was calculated, clinical, and utterly brutal. Then there's Chelsea. Their trip to Naples was anything but calm. It was a street fight, facing a fiery Napoli side. Chelsea found themselves in an absolute scrap for their tournament lives. They managed to grind out a 3-2 victory, but they were pushed to the absolute limit. Napoli, even in defeat, showed incredible spirit, with Antonio Vergara scoring a fantastic solo goal that had Chelsea fans holding their breath. But Chelsea, thanks to a brace from João Pedro head-on, that victory was absolutely crucial. It wasn't pretty, but it was enough to secure their spot in the top 24 and book a place in the knockout playoffs. While Liverpool will rest easy, Chelsea's path forward is filled with danger. It just shows you the fine margins in this competition. One English team cruises, the other survives by the skin of its teeth. Our number 4 take comes from Catalonia, where Barcelona stared disaster in the face and refused to blink. For about 20 minutes, it looked like it was all going wrong. They went down 1-0 at home to a spirited Copenhagen team, and you could feel the anxiety gripping the stadium. With a top 8 spot on the line, a loss was unthinkable. The Danish side played their hearts out and were threatening to pull off a historic upset. For a moment, it really seemed like Barcelona's league campaign was headed for a disastrous end. But then the comeback ignited. It started as it so often does, with Robert Lewandowski. His equalizer didn't just change the score, it changed the entire feel of the game. That goal was a spark. From that moment on, Barcelona was a different animal. They played with a fury that Copenhagen just couldn't handle. The second half was a masterclass in attacking football. Lamine Yamal, the wonder kid, produced a moment of pure magic, calling a beautiful shot into the net to give them the lead. Then came a penalty, coolly converted by Rafinha, before a stunning free kick for Marcus Rashford sealed the deal. The final score? 4-1. It was a statement of resilience, a reminder that this Barcelona side has character. That win cemented their place in the top 8, letting them bypass the playoffs and look ahead to the round of 16. A night that started with fear ended with a roar of defiance. We are about to get into the most dramatic moments of the night, where the entire Champions League landscape was redrawn in the final minutes. If you are enjoying this breakdown, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We'll be here breaking down every single moment right through the knockout rounds. And now for number 3, a story that is everything we love about the Champions League, the ultimate underdog tale. Bodo Glimt, the Norwegian champions, traveled to the Metropolitano to face Atletico Madrid, and one of the toughest places to get a result in all of Europe. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gave them a prayer. When Atletico went up 1-0, it felt like the script was writing itself. Another European giant swatting away an ambitious Mino. Game over. Or so we thought. What happened next was just extraordinary. Bodo Glimt didn't just hang on. They fought back with a courage that was simply breathtaking. They clawed their way back into the match, and then the moment of magic arrived. Kasper Ho found the back of the net, sealing a historic 2-1 victory. The Norwegian bench just erupted. Let us sink in. They came from behind to win at the home of Diego Simeone's Atletico. This wasn't just an upset, it was a seismic shock that completely flipped the script in their section of the table, giving the Norwegian side a spot in the playoffs. While putting a huge dent in Atletico's ambitions, it was a performance built on pure belief, a perfect reminder that in this competition, heart can sometimes beat budget and history. A nightmare in Madrid, but for Bodo Glimt, the dream is still alive. Coming in at number 2 is a moment of pure last gasp drama. We go to Bilbao, where Sporting CP were in a slugfest with Athletic Club. The stakes were simple: win and a direct spot in the round of 16 was theirs. Anything else and their fate was out of their hands. For most of the night, it looked like they were falling short. The game was a wide back and forth affair. As the clock ticked into stoppage time, the score was locked at 2-2. A crucial equalizer from Trincao had kept Sporting in, but a draw wasn't enough. And then, the 95th minute, with practically the last kick of the game, Alison Santos found the net. An explosion of joy from the Sporting players, and just stunned silence from the home crowd. A 3-2 victory, snatched at death. This wasn't just a winning goal, it was a season-defining moment. That single kick launched Sporting from the playoff scrabble directly into the promised land of the top 8. But the ripple effect was even bigger. That goal had devastating consequences for another European giant, indirectly sealing their fate and knocking them out of that coveted top 8. It was a heist, plain and simple, completed in the dying seconds. And now for the number 1 take, the most shocking, the most unbelievable moment of Matchday 8. Real Madrid's historic and humiliating collapse in history. The situation couldn't have been clearer. Real Madrid, the kings of Europe, traveled to Benfica, needing only a draw to secure their place in the top 8. That's it. Just avoid defeat. For a club like Madrid, that should have been a walk in the park. And when Kylian Mbappe gave them an early lead, it seemed like business as usual. But what happened next was a complete and utter meltdown. A 4-2 defeat that would go down as one of the worst European nights in recent history. Benfica, playing with absolutely nothing to lose, threw everything at them. They roared back into the game, and as the clock wound down, the unthinkable happened. In the 98th minute, with Madrid desperately pushing for an equalizer that would have saved them, Benfica won a set piece. Up came the goalkeeper Anatoly Trubin, and in a moment that defied all logic, he rose highest and headed the ball into the Real Madrid net. A goalkeeper in the 98th minute, scoring to bury Real Madrid. You couldn't write it. The stadium exploded. That goal was the dagger. A late penalty from Evangelis Pavlidis just twisted the knife, sealing the 4-2 scoreline. The result was a catastrophe for Madrid. They didn't just lose, they were sent tumbling from the comfort of the top 8 all the way down to ninth place, convening them to the brutal knockout playoffs. For Benfica, it was a legendary night that secured their own playoff spot. For Real Madrid, it was a shocking and embarrassing fall from grace that sent tremors through the entire competition. So there you have it, a night of pure Champions League chaos. From Liverpool's cruise control and Chelsea's grit to Barcelona's defiant comeback. From the miracle in Madrid for Bodo and Glimt to Sporting's last-second heist in Bilbao. And finally, the unbelievable collapse of Real Madrid, capped off by a goalkeeper's goal for Benfica. The final day has completely reshaped the knockout stages. You have our top 8 teams, including Arsenal, Liverpool, Barcelona, and Sporting, who can now rest and prepare for the round of 16. But for giants like Real Madrid and hopefuls like Chelsea, Bayern, and Tottenham, a brutal two-legged playoff awaits just to get to that same stage. The drawing this Friday is now one of the most anticipated in years. What was your top moment from match day 8? Did I miss anything? Let me know your biggest takeaway in the comments below. And if you want more Champions League analysis, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.